Hey, so this is the Fiji McAlpine sequence. I think it's day 7 of 14, maybe it's 8 of 14, I'm not really sure, that I missed the day of the blizzard, the great blizzard of 2018, on New Year's Eve, when my internet wasn't working at my office. So I'm doing it finally. I took 3 days off unexpectedly, and so this is where we are. Maybe I'll be able to not have this video be sideways, but maybe not. Maybe I don't care. I'm not really sure. So one of the things I see myself struggling with here is this thing I struggle with all the time, which is another reason that studio yoga feels really challenging for me sometimes, is that yoga pants, running pants, all of the pants designed for working out or yogaing, see that? They don't work for the mama belly. So every time I move at all, it falls down because I have that kind of large pouch from deflated mama belly. And it's incredibly uncomfortable to both continuously be pulling up all the time and to have it roll down in the middle of practice and to be self-conscious about whether my crap is sticking out or not. So I don't know if anybody else has that problem. And let me be really clear, like I don't hate my mama belly. It's kind of proof of a lot of strength and a lot of transformation and life giving capabilities, but it's uncomfortable that clothes aren't actually made to accommodate these things. And I don't like it when folks can see it sticking out of my shirt. So anybody have any suggestions? Like a onesie, like a Spider-Man onesie, that would be fantastic. It might be a little hot, so maybe like a cut-off Spider-Man onesie, like the ones that the BAWGs have for triathlons. They're like Wonder Woman ones. BAWGs, if anybody has any of those triathlon onesies that are shorts, I want one. I want one so bad. Oh, I would do yoga in it all the time. It would be the best thing in the world.
Comments and checking out comments. So
that's my pineapple zone. Gray.
Wait. Well, Mama, how do I get to the YouTube studio?
So I'll be with you in a second, Gray.
Stuff kept printing like this, so I had to fix it.
Okay.
Now it's fixed.
Our printer's fixed. I'm sure everybody will be happy to know that. Yeah, so one of the things that has come up that's never come up before for me recently is joint pain. Not that I haven't had joint pain before, but this feels like old people joint pain. Like it's gonna snow, and so my knuckles hurt. At the beginning of this practice, at the beginning of this flow, I was doing the pull down where you have your upper hand at the back of your heart and the lower hand curled up to meet it. And I could no longer do the bind, which is the first time I have not been able to do a bind. And granted, remember, I don't usually do a lot of mat yoga practice when I'm pregnant. And the reason that I couldn't do it is because it was actually painful. I'm not sure what's happening with that. It's an interesting process to feel the differences in the body.
What?
Oh, I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that.
Oh, what is that?
Balance is a little wonky, as you'll see. noticed I get nervous and self-conscious when there are people in the room that aren't tiny people. Like my 9-year-old is here and my partner is here, and I'm nervous and self-conscious to talk about my yoga practice or why I'm doing this. One thing that's undoubtedly easier in studio practice is it's all about focus, right? You're going into one specific room for a specific purpose, and you're not going to be disturbed by folks outside of that purpose for the duration of the yoga class. So all you're doing is focusing your mind and energy in the body. You don't have to do other things. So obviously when you're doing practice at home, you see the laundry, you see the unmade beds, you see your kids, and the one-minded focus is a little bit harder, but it's also, you're also more able to transfer what you do on your mat. At least in my experience, let me just speak for myself. I'm more able to transfer what I do on my mat at home into real life because I'm in real life when I'm doing it. But at the same time, studio yoga, when you're forced to just have that one-mindedness, you don't have the other things to think about or the other distractions. It has a very valuable place as well in calming the mind, quieting the body and mind. There's that belly again. Hello. Do you see my awesome shirt? That's a BAWG shirt. That's a badass warrior goddess training shirt founded by Jessie Gregg in Minnesota. It's this amazing group of women identified and non-binary identified folks who are moving in their bodies. They're the only people who've ever gotten me running, and I actually loved it. Until I ran into moose in my neighborhood and got freaked out because moose, the only reason I stayed alive is because he just didn't feel like killing me. Moose are huge, y'all.
There you go.
Alignment and balance is easier for me in studio as well. I think it's probably has to do with that one-mindedness, that focus, uninterruptible focus.
I just found Ben's channel and I saw, and the first thing I see is a Fortnite video.
Yuck. Why are we so judgmental of ourselves? I notice in the same moment, in the same moves, I'm like, oh, look how strong. And then another moment, I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Is that conditioning? Is that, I don't know, a little strain in my face? Bet you can hear my cat. He always sounds like that. The only thing I dislike about the pants is the fact that they're see-through and they roll down my belly.
Or I can't wait to watch some of these, except you're not gonna watch them in form.
Do you hear, Gray? Shavasana.
My first stream. It doesn't stream. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Mm.
Y'all see ready? And then haters.
The description of that video is true. After I did it, I did feel enlivened and peaceful. So here we go. Right after this, then the next day, I did. What am I trying to say? The next day, I didn't have enough time to do a full video, and I didn't have anything recording available. So I just did a yoga flow while one of my children took a bath. And sometimes that's what you got to do. Sometimes it's about just being accountable to yourself, even if it doesn't feel as great as being able to shout from the rooftops, I did what I said I was going to do. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Catch ya.